You have a very unique story to tell. And it's kind of a story that a lot of people tell, because addiction is not about race. It's not even about class. Addiction comes in many different forms. And when you get to a point where you get addicted to something and you have to function off of it, and you can't even function off of normalcy or your natural rhythm, that's very, very dangerous. Because now you have experience pushing yourself to the edge of insanity. Looking back at that life that you had, I'm glad you don't have it now. What were the steps that helped you get yourself back right so you can put your life back together?
Well, first and foremost, if you are addicted to drugs, I would highly recommend check yourself into rehab or some kind of detox, because getting off drugs by yourself is dangerous. You could die, literally. You could have a seizure. You could, people think alcohol is safe. Let me tell you, alcohol is one of the worst things to withdraw off. You could literally have a seizure. Your body will go into shock. So, step one, I would just call someone, get yourself into rehab or detox. You know what I mean? After that, what helped me was going to meetings, man. Go to meetings, talk to people, you know? I feel like as an addict, it's so easy to isolate and not talk to anyone. I could tell you I did that to the max. I isolated so much. Like, I would just go home, go in my room and have my pills, have my liquor, and be in my room and just fucking, I don't even know what I would do. I'd just be like on my computer or some shit, like, whatever, listening to music, trying to make music. And let me tell you, when I was trying to make music when I was on drugs, that shit, it was garbage. Like, my workflow is so much better now that I'm off of drugs. So I don't know how some of these rappers sound so good on drugs, but let me tell you, my workflow is so much better now that I'm off drugs. But yeah, check yourself into rehab, go to meetings, get a sponsor, and just talk to people, man. Just talk to people about your problems and your feelings. Letting that shit out rather than holding it in is so much better. And just like, after you get clean, just remember, don't ever pick up, because you know what the consequences could be. You could either die, you could go to jail. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So, you can't, we went to hip hop kind of fast off of that, but I'm gonna continue to track. How is doing hip hop helping you beat the addiction? And once again, hip hop is so addiction influenced.
Yeah, I feel like it is addiction influenced. It's helping me in a way where it's like, I feel like I can network and talk to people just more like in a more positive way rather than negative. Because I feel like the industry itself, it's filled with people that are gonna try to screw you over no matter what, and that's just the industry that, you know, a lot of people don't understand that. So I feel like back then, if I got screwed over or something, I would just spaz out on someone. Now it's like, you know what, I'll take the loss and move on. I think just being able to look at it from a more like clear mind, like, I think it just helps me in a way where it's like, all right, like, I'ma just do me in a way where it's like, I don't hurt nobody, you know, and if someone hurts me, I just move on. And, you know, just talking about like my pain and what I've been through, like, it just helps. Like, you know, I make beats and everything too. Like, I don't just rap, I make beats. I'm getting into videography, I'm doing photography, I make cover art. So like, it just helps me explore like the whole, like, just like a whole nother world almost, like, because it is a whole nother world. I think people don't understand that sometimes if they're not in the industry itself. But yeah, I think just being in the industry, exploring what I can and can't do, trying different sounds, trying different, you know, instruments, all that, it just helps me. It just keeps me like progressing as a person.
I want you to look at the camera, and the reason why is because to overcome something, you have to face it.
Right.
And you're talking to your audience.
Right.
So when you look down, you're very disengaged, and I want you to engage with them because I want people to know your story and know you, so they'll go find you and your music. See, the one thing about hip hop that people fail to realize is hip hop is not just the music. The thing that people like about Nas is deep, so they get to hear him talk. Everybody like Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang was deep, and that symbol meant something. So everything about you, we want to have face to face. So not only will people feel you and they see the sincerity in your eyes, they'll look you up because they feel connected to you. Now, connection in hip hop is very important because when you talk a story and it's real, you're grabbing the heart and you're grabbing the minds of the listener. Being that you're teaching a story, how do people react to you when you're not rapping?
I feel like when I'm not rapping, I think
like when you try to talk what you're talking to people instead of rapping about it, how do they take you? What is the response like?
I mean, to be honest, like, I feel like it's like a very, like, it's like a hard subject. I feel like a lot of people don't understand it because it's like, I don't think a lot of people, because I think some people are born addicts, some people aren't, some people turn into addicts, some people don't even realize that they're addicts, you know? So you could talk to someone and be like, yeah, man, I think you have the same problem as me, like, and they'll be like, nah, I don't. But it'll take some time for them to realize that they do, you know? And a lot of the people that don't understand it, they'll try to be like I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it. Like for instance, when I go to meetings, sometimes people are like, why do you gotta go to meetings? You know? And I'll be like, because they help me. Like, I got people in there that understand what I'm saying. And those are the people that I don't have to rap about it. I feel like if I rap about it, I think if I have a certain sound, it'll cling more, and people will be like, all right, what did that mean? You know what I mean? Like, if I say something, they'll be like, all right, like, that might have a deeper meaning, you know? It might have sounded good, but, like, what's the meaning behind it? And I think that's one thing that the music will help influence. It's going to be like, all right, like, if I say something that's deep, and it might just sound like basic words, but it could be deeper than just basic words, and I think that would be, like something that people want to get into. Like, all right, maybe this guy's saying something that's deeper than just rap. Because this is more than just rap. This is a lifestyle and a story that I'm telling. You never know who I'm going to touch with it.
That's facts. And one thing I know about hip hop is a famous line in hip hop history is the dumb are intrigued by the drum, which means people always bob their heads, but they're not listening.
Yeah.
So the music, I think, helps people engage more, but you gotta have them listen. How do you gauge a person to make them listen to you rather than just bob their heads?
I think just like basically just having like a unique flow or like a unique way of coming onto the beat, or when the beat drops, just like switching flows and stuff like that, because that's gonna catch someone's ear. Like, oh, that sounded cool, you know what I mean? And the latest song I just dropped, you know, I had a lot of people just be like, yo, that hook was like fire, like, and it was like, I said something like, what I said, it's just like a game you played me, or what I said, not, it's like a game you need a token, but this ain't Chuck E. Cheese, you know what I mean? Like, you played me, but it's gonna cost you if you play me, because the token costs, you know, you gotta put something into the game to play it, you know? So it's just little things like that, like people are gonna be like, oh, what do you mean by that? And it makes sense, because like, if you're a 90s baby, because I went to Chuck E. Cheese yesterday to shoot a music video, and they don't have tokens anymore. They got like little cards. I was just like, damn.
They really?
I'm like, but like if you're a 90s baby or someone who went to Chuck E. Cheese when you're younger, that'll make sense to you, because I remember going to like, Chuck E. Cheese when I was younger. You gotta put a token into the game to play it. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you play me, it's gonna cost you.
Okay. So the wordplay. Now, being that you're a new artist, how do you feel the landscape of hip hop is when you try to enter now? Because see, back in the day, to enter hip hop was harder, 10 times harder, because we didn't have the technology.
Yeah.
We had to travel to go get heard, or you could be local and be great, but you still had to go venture out. And the people who wanted to be great went from hood to hood, street to street, block to block to battle. Now, you just have everything on your disposal. You have a portable, called a PDA. You got a phone that does everything. So how, being new to the game and it being so easy, how does that affect you? How does that help you? Has that hurt you when it comes to your craft?
Okay, so like, basically Instagram is everything now. You know what I mean? Everyone's on Instagram, you know what I mean? Every single rapper's on Instagram. Yeah, so basically, like, it's like it's still a competition on there. You know, you gotta have like a fan base. You gotta have people wanting to see what you're doing, like see the stories on Instagram. Everyone watches the stories now, you know what I mean? So it's like if you're doing something cool on your story, that could engage and be like, oh, let me click on his profile, see what he's doing. You know, I feel like it is still hard, but it's not as hard as you said back in the day. Because back in the day, you just had to go to Block, push out mixtapes like CDs. Now you could just put everything on SoundCloud, and people just like find it randomly. You know what I mean? There's playlists and everything.
But you still gotta engage because nobody. I mean, you said back in the day pitching CDs. I mean, before that.
Oh, before that.
Even before that, people had to go block to block to meet people. Now you have music out. How do you meet people to tell people about your craft and what you rhyme about? How do you promote yourself?
Yeah, just like I've been going to like a lot of like open mic type things,
showcases,
and just like there, like, you know, you just meet a bunch of people and it's just like networking, you know. If you like something that someone said or sounded, you know, you're just getting like, there's a community, you know what I mean? Like, so you're just getting your sound out to the community, and that's how you work with other artists. You'd be like, oh, I like what he said, or like, I like his sound. Maybe I could, you know, get his Instagram, get his phone number, and we could go to the studio together. And you never know where that's gonna take you, because it's like, you know, he could have more followers than you on SoundCloud or Instagram, whatever, and now you're gonna get heard too through him. So it's just like, you know, everyone has their own like little fan base and where they're from, you know. So as long as you network, you keep networking. Like yesterday when I was at Seaside, I got like 5 different people on Instagram, you know.
Go, congratulations.
They were just like, oh yeah, because they saw us with the camera and everything. They're like, yo, what are you doing? We're like, oh, we're shooting a music video. And they're like, yo, get my Instagram, we could link. And I was just like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Just things like that. You gotta go out, do things, and link with people. You never know who you're gonna meet. I remember I was on an Uber, and this guy was a producer. I was just talking to him, and I was like, yo, check out my music. He's like, yeah, I'm a producer. Got his Instagram. He worked with Jadakiss, actually. So like, it's just like going out and you talking to people. You never know who you're gonna meet, you know. What's up, everybody? This is Parth Vader, and I want y'all to know, like, if you're going through addiction, substance problems, man, just, yo, there's phone numbers out there, man. There's 1-800 numbers. Just call someone, man. Like, if you feel the way I felt when I was using drugs, man, just call someone. You know, someone's always gonna want to listen to you, man. Especially someone like me, like, you know what I mean? Like, just call someone. Just call someone that's been through it. Call a rehab. Call a detox. Just pick up that phone, man, and you never know how your life could flip around, you know?